Everybody, and welcome back to the week that was. My name is Jude Newcomb. I am glad to be here. I'm sure some of you are aware that are watching this video right now that about a month ago, I had to take a leave from working with Metrix. But with that being said, it's a new month, so I have a new episode of the week that was here, and it's a special one because I was able to bring along Trent Richards, CEO of Metrix, to come on for a discussion about the state of the project and where the project is headed next. I think there's going to be a lot of great information for people to digest with everything that we're going to talk about. It's going to be a nice conversation, and I'm really glad to have him here. So I'm going to welcome in right now, Trent. Trent, how are you?
I'm going well, buddy. Thanks for bringing me on the week that was. I feel very special.
Yeah. I think this is, you're now holding the lead for most times being interviewed on the show at 2.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Well done. Well done.
I think we might have to set a new benchmark. Let's have me on next month as well.
Sounds good. I'm here. I'm here. And before we get into like all the metrics talk, how have you been doing? I know you had a knee operation recently. You've been healing from that, okay?
Yeah, and I'm doing fine. And thanks to all the Metroids that have reached out to me with the DMs and everything. It really does mean a lot. For those that don't know, I've had a lot of people asking what happened and what's going on. I've got 3 rescue dogs, and I lost one of them one day on the beach quite a few months ago. And I'm not a runner by any means. You can probably tell by my shape. So I ended up doing nearly 5 kilometers running on the beach trying to find my dog. And I felt something pop in my knee. And because I hadn't found my dog, I didn't stop. I just kept running through the pain. Yeah. And I finally found her about another 2 kilometers down the beach. So I ended up getting a taxi back with my dog back to where my wife and my other dogs were. I ended up having knee surgery. I did a massive tear in the ACL, which is a ligament, and I did a small tear in the DCL, which is the other ligament, and I also tore the one of the main muscles just for good luck. So I've had a pretty good operation. It's quite a few hours, and now I've got no weight bearing on my foot for at least 6 weeks. So I'm on crutches. So this is me sitting in the corner of my lounge room on my nice new chair, which is really comfy. My wife made sure that I had a really comfy chair because I'm going to be here for 6 weeks.
Wow.
So now everyone's caught up on the knee.
But you found the dog.
I found my dog. I wasn't going to stop until I found my dog.
So it was worth it, kind of, right?
It was kind of worth it. But now she's on a lead.
Yeah, good. While you've been going through that, I actually went through shortly after I left the project. I contracted COVID, so that's something that I've been dealing with. So I just wanted to mention that because if I happen to cough during this interview, I want to apologize to the people listening, but I'll do my best to try and avoid that. But it's great. It's great to hear that your surgery went well. I'm glad that you're making a good recovery. Sounds like you have a comfy place to sit. And before we started recording, you told me you had a nice big TV that you could look at. So that's
right.
Nice.
I'm well set.
Yeah, good.
It's great because I can do a lot of learning off YouTube while I'm sitting here.
Yeah. So while you're sitting there, I'm sure you've been able to take a look not only at the Metrix, place in the market, but the overall market as well. Do you have any thoughts on where the market is right now? It looks like, at least the last couple of days have been kind of rough, with maybe falling back to where we fell like a month ago or so. But what are your thoughts on the market right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Just prior to that, obviously, it's great that the COVID's getting behind you and you're on the mend. That's really good because,
it's awful.
Obviously it knocks a lot of people around. So that's great news. So on the markets, I mean, I think a lot of Metroids know that I've been trading myself personally for many years. It's probably going on 15, 16 years now that I've been trading. And I do keep a watch on the markets all the time. And in the other crypto section on Discord, I've posted a few charts there of late because just sitting here with not a lot to do at the moment. So all I'm really doing is working on metrics and trading. And I've read a lot of comments on not just our socials, but other socials where people are devastated with the market. They say, oh, we've lost all this money. It's all doom and gloom. It's all red. It's a bloodbath, rah, rah, rah. I actually take the exact opposite point of view. I've actually made a fortune in the last month, 2 months, by understanding the market. And I know the market's dropping. I know it's going to continue to dropping, or that's my assumption from what I'm reading. So I've exited a lot of positions and I'm buying back a lot cheaper. If anyone wants to have a look at the charts I've posted, go into the Other Cryptos channel on Discord and you'll see what my thoughts are for Bitcoin. A lot of people disagree with me and that's fine. The time will tell. But I'm calling the low is going to be around 10 grand, maybe between 10 and 12,000 is where we're going to bottom out. And until that happens, I think there's still going to be a bloodbath. We're going to get some recovery bounces. We're going to get a lot of good trading opportunities and good accumulation positions for a lot of people in whatever coins they're looking at. But I really don't think we're going to get to new time highs until we get to the real low, which is going to be around that 11,000 mark. And the reason I'm saying 11,000 is we've already had 2 recovery bounces that have failed. We're looking for the third, and that will also align with an 85% drop from the all-time high, which is what Bitcoin's known to do. So that's my stance on it. People coming into social saying, "Oh, look at Metrix, it's all poured out, it's all red, 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 red." Of course it is. Everything mirrors what Bitcoin does, and there are some coins. Yeah, absolutely. There are some coins that didn't for a set time, mainly because they're brand new at the time. But over time, I think everything's going to shadow what Bitcoin does. If the entire cryptocurrency market cap goes way down by, say, $1 trillion, well, it's got to ripple down. It's got to affect the other coins as well. So I think with some of the strategies you and I have been talking about, and we'll share some of those today, we will be able to see Metrix coming back up. And we should be able to see that coming back up prior to Bitcoin coming back up. But it being core team, we don't like specifically talking about Metrix price. We rather talk about the general market price and general conditions. But we're not here to be losing money. We're volunteers. We're here to drive this project at the best we can, and we obviously want to see price going in a positive direction as well.
Yes.
So, but I just don't think anyone should be realistically looking at huge gains in any of their cryptos at the moment. It's just the entire market conditions, and I think that the rest of this year is the timeline. We're really not going to see much over the rest of this year. Look at Grayscale, look at BlackRock, look at all these big companies that are holding Bitcoin, and they've got wholesale Bitcoin at the moment. Some of them are 20% below market. It's until all that's cleared out, I just don't think Bitcoin's going to actually come back. So when it does come back, I don't think it's going to be hitting those $1 million McAfee numbers anytime soon.
Right. Yeah. Still a no on that.
Yeah, I think that's still a no.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised at all to see 250, 300 in the next bull run, but I don't think we're going to see the millions.
Yeah, I think a lot of and I don't know as much about trading as you. In fact, I'm a terrible trader. So I just try to stay out of it. I listen to people like you.
Smart.
But I heard maybe like 2025, 2024, maybe late 2024, like that's where maybe we could see a potential next peak of any sort of like overall market tops, for another bull run or something like that. Is that something, similar to what you're thinking, maybe a couple more years?
Yeah. And the reason I say that is Bitcoin traditionally has worked on a 4-year cycle. We tend to get 18 months of solid bear market. This cycle that we've just entered into, it's a different cycle. And it's very hard to read. Depending on where your 4-year starts and finishes, it's always a bit of a grey area. It's not to the day. But the last bear cycle was pretty much 12 months to the day, which was a little bit shorter than the previous. But people are still thinking we're in a bull market when we're in a bear market clearly for over 12 months. And so this one's dragged on and on. So we have to hit that point at some point where we're going to turn around. And when we do, I think the recovery will be quite fast.
You know what I think?
But
I
yeah.
think just from my basic, kind of approach or view of looking back on the market, with the double top nature of the
Mhm.
previous cycle top, and how long it was strung out for, with those two giant humps, with the second one being
Yep.
just slightly larger than the first, obviously depicting a double top, and down we went.
Mhm.
But I
Yep.
think the way that it happened, it was very underwhelming for people, thinking like that couldn't have possibly have been it, you know and
That's right.
and here we are at 20,000, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
we've lost 66% since then, and people are still thinking like we're still involved in that double top kind of pattern. But you're right. I mean, that was
Yeah.
a long time ago.
Well, go back 5 years. Go back to 2017. We went from, I forget the numbers now, it was about 3,000 to 20,000,
Mhm.
or it might have been 3,500 to 20,000. And we had that big blow off top at 20,000, and that was obviously the high.
Yeah.
But where are we today? 20,000, 25,000. I mean,
Right.
we're the same price as we were 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And what did we do when we had the massive peak here? We went 3 times that. I mean, 3 times the 20,000 in a 5-year period. I mean, that's got to tell you something about Bitcoin.
Yeah.
It went from 50 cents to I'd have to go get a chart, but 50 cents to about $10
Yeah.
back when it started, and then that $10 went to $1,600, and now we went from 20,000 to 60,000. I mean,
Mhm.
it's a much harder to move that asset class when there's so much more money per coin.
Yeah.
So and that's what I'm saying. I don't think the $1 million is going to be around the corner. I think it's a
Right.
long way off.
So not to belabor Bitcoin, we'll move on to Metrix here in a second, but I just have one more question with
Sure.
talking about previous all-time high of 20,000. So with your price target around 10,000 or 12,000, you don't see an issue or a problem with losing the previous all-time high from the previous bull market, like that's okay
No,
to do?
no, that's fine. What I see happening is we'll hit that 10 to 11,000, maybe 12,000. We'll get a really good bounce off there. How high, don't know. It'll probably come back to around where we are now, because there's a lot of support and resistance around the zones that we're in, and then we'll just start climbing out of there.
Yeah.
And I don't think the all-time high is going to be any issue really. It's really just a quick spike and a big wick of a candle. It was all the stops getting taken out that created that 69,000 when it went past 65. Everyone's jumped in thinking off to the races, and it was going the other way.
Yeah.
What I
So
would say though is
yeah.
Ethereum is going to outpace Bitcoin like you're not going to believe.
Yeah, you think
I think
so, huh?
40 to 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And I think they
Uh,
have the merge, right?
yeah, that's going to be interesting. Certainly interesting, something to watch with. I'm not sure if it's been 100% disclosed or where it's up to, but I haven't been following it that closely. But I'm pretty sure you should get a free copy of everything. It's on Ethereum on the new Ethereum, which is interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, there's obviously there's tons of great projects. We wouldn't be involved in Metrix if we didn't think that Metrix was a great project. I think it's still one of the most, unbelievably hidden gems that there are in cryptocurrency, with one of the greatest potential upsides that somebody could experience with just a little bit of their, investment money. Not financial
yeah,
advice. I finally
of
get to
course
say
not.
that in a video. But but let's talk a little bit about Metrics, because no matter what Bitcoin's doing or whatever the market's doing, the team's working, right?
Oh, it's unbelievable. Like when I say I've just been sitting here past couple of weeks because I'm limited, it's not that I'm doing nothing on Metrics. It's I'm always thinking about Metrics. I'm always doing something with it. The challenge I've got at the moment is with our team of volunteers. It's very hard to crack a stick and say, make sure you do this and make this happen. And because people have got lives, people have got jobs outside of Metrics and so forth. And when you're the CEO of a volunteer organisation, it is very challenging. Now, when I first started, there was nothing in place. So you and I, other core team members at the time, we were really building a foundation, and it was a solid foundation that we were building. We're putting an ecosystem together, and we're bringing all sorts of products together. There's so much work to do, and all of us could take a part in that. And now that that's done, and it was all the exchange listings that were a priority at the time, and there's just so much work went into all of that side. But now all that's done, we're on all the exchanges where we've got our ecosystem, we've got everything put together now. Now we're waiting on developers, and again, you can't crack the stick at developers that aren't being paid. Right. But they're also developing all sorts of things, and we'll talk about some of those today that Metroids won't even be aware of. Yeah. So there's a lot happening behind the scenes. The issue is we've only got 3 developers. I'd love to have 50 developers all contributing to the project and all doing their own project within the project, building on our blockchain. It would be fantastic. But with only 3, and because they're not being paid, I mean, obviously they need an income as well, so they have to do other things. So right. This is why things take time to happen. Metroverse, we were going to release that quite a while ago, but what we ended up doing was we focused on the Metrix name service first, because that's going to intertwine with Metroverse. The other things we'll talk about today are also going to intertwine with Metrix name service. Mm-hmm. So what we're doing is now, from a development point, really expanding the ecosystem, which it's going to be fantastic in the long run. Yeah, there's just so much going on behind the scenes. It's not funny.
Yeah, before we get into the products and platforms that are upcoming, with any updates that you might be able to give on them, you have added to the team itself, right? You've added a couple of team members. Do you want to maybe just give a brief run through about maybe what they'll be involved with doing, or how they'll impact the team?
Yeah, sure. As everyone knows, I mean, we're always open to community members joining the team. The way I see this as the CEO is there really shouldn't be a CEO on a community-run project. But if there isn't someone at the top, how do you sort of bring everyone together? So call me the team leader, call me the
organizer,
head of the head organizer of the community volunteer fund. I mean, the title CEO, I mean, I use it pretty loosely, because it's not like I was saying before. I can't demand people do a job or I fire them. I mean, it just doesn't work like that. Yeah. Which is very different to, obviously, CEO roles I've had in the past, where people are on KPIs or performance systems and so forth. Right. But so anyone can join the team. We're all community members. We came together on the team. I call it a mastermind alliance, where it's the coming together of 2 or more people with a common goal, with a common spirit, in working together in harmony. I mean, that's what a mastermind alliance is. And I really applaud those that want to step up from the community and join the team to really make this project stand out. And everyone's got their own skill sets. Mine obviously isn't, from a technical side, I can't do anything technical. I struggle to help Metroids on socials when they ask for help with their wallets. I mean, I struggle to get my own wallets working. So, but obviously I've got other skill sets that I can bring to the project. We had Rafis One join us the other day. We had Soccerton join us. There's a few more that I'm talking to at the moment from the community that want to join us as well.
Yeah, and they're 2 great long-term members of the community.
Absolutely, yeah. And at the moment they're moderating, for the simple reason that when Jude left, it sort of left a big hole, and it was a hole that we tried to fill, but without the skill sets, it was very hard. So I tried to do the social media, and it was quite funny. I recorded the previous update that I posted, and I thought, okay, I'll just do what Jude does. You get the update, you record it. Okay, now I've got to edit it. Oh, how do I do that? Oh, I've got to put the front on it. I've got to put the back on it. Where are they? Oh, I don't even know where they are. I don't know how to. So I thought, all right,
I wasn't hiding them.
No. I thought I'll just put these on Twitter, and I put them on Twitter, and it failed. I thought, oh, how's he put these on Twitter? And after about 2 days, I worked out that you can only have a 2-minute video on Twitter unless you put it on YouTube first. Yeah. And, oh, come on! I was wasting so much time on this stuff. So that's why you guys got a very raw footage of me with no headers, no tails, no anything else. It was boom, just straight out.
Yeah.
And there's been very few posts. So, but we'll talk about that today, because it's very timely having Jude back here to have a chat to.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah. So yeah.
So it's good though that me being just one person, but you've been able to still expand the team over the past month. You're talking to more people to join the team. I think before last month, it had been quite some time since we've had new fresh blood come onto the team. And like you were saying, I think everybody brings their own skill set, whether that's having any tangible skills whatsoever compared to maybe somebody that just has a ton of great ideas.
Yeah, exactly.
You never know like what you're going to get from a person during any conversation. And I think any conversation that you can have with any team member, just shooting the breeze, can really produce a new path forward for something that you weren't even expecting. So cycling in new team members is great, because as you were talking about, with not only cracking the whip on volunteers, but volunteers themselves will just kind of naturally drift away from the project over time, and they need to be replaced.
Yeah, that's very true. And the other thing I've noticed is as price goes down, people lose interest. And it's not just Metrix price, it's any project. You can see the same results.
Yeah.
The socials get very quiet. When price goes up, everyone's excited. The socials are on fire.
Right.
The same thing happens with team members. They go quiet, they disappear, they come back. Oh, just checking in. I didn't forget you. I've been busy at work, or whatever the case is. But at the end of the day, I haven't gone anywhere. I'm staying here because I'm on a mission. I really wanted Jude to come back, so that's part of my mission, which we'll talk about. And I think that the next, now that we've got the foundation that I was talking about before, we've got our bases built. The next thing we really need to look at is onboarding bigger community members and really growing the community. And we've got some strategies and ideas of what to do and how to do. And that's what Jude and I want to start working on seriously. But anyone in the community that wants to join the team, wants to help us, by all means, when we release Metroverse, we're going to need some more moderators there. We need more moderators on our socials. I mean, there's so many simple jobs that can be done. And when I say simple, I could do them. They're not technical.
Right.
So, because a lot of people aren't technical. So I just look at what I can actually do online. They're not technical. And if I can do them, then obviously anyone can. It's simply banning some bots that turn up on our Telegram channel. I mean, it's simple stuff. It takes 2 seconds, but I can't be on Telegram all day, every day. I can't be on everything all the time. So that's where it's really good to get new team members on and just help us out.
Yeah, and I think maybe there might be a little bit of I don't know, maybe some anxiety that a person might feel when they're asked, well, why don't you join the team? It's exactly like you were talking about. If this is a volunteer organization for the most part, like, you can choose your commitment, like, so if you want your commitment to be just making 3 or 4 social media posts a day, then do that. Commit to it and do it. I mean, that's 5 to 10 minutes of your time every day. That would be great if the entire community could do 1 tweet a day. I mean, we've talked about that before. But also, if you want it to be a full-time thing and you want to really contribute like a lot of your time, there's also that. You can do that as well. But just because if somebody says join the team, it doesn't mean stop what you're doing in your real life. Come on board, say goodbye to your family, and like, you can just contribute what you can contribute. Now, like I said, I mean, there's differences to what people might be able to contribute. Like with me, I'm willing to contribute full-time plus hours, to this, because I'm like you. I consider this kind of like my baby. It's been a part of my life for 5 years now, and I don't think it's time to turn my back, on what we have going on here. There's really a lot of promising things, and we can even talk about, Metroverse. Do you have any kind of updates on where we're at with Metroverse? Because that's a super exciting project that will give a great use case and utility to Metrix holders and bring over users of NFTs from other chains to potentially check out Metrix.
Yeah, absolutely. With Metroverse, again, I'll stay off the technical side because it's not where I'm good. But it's a very large platform, and we needed space to actually save the platform itself and then everything going on there. There's quite a few technicalities that had to be addressed, which have been now. The other main thing, though, that was stopping us releasing it straight away is having team members that can actually be there as officials. There's going to be a lot of copyright rules. There's going to be a lot of whether it's plagiarism rules that we need to look at, or call them legalities. You know, call them legalities. You know, we don't want people posting, you know, naughty things on there. We don't want people stealing people's things and posting on there and claiming them as their own. So there are some legalities there that we have to be very careful of. So there's a lot of planning on that side. From a development side, Sexy's just about finished the platform itself, and now Squid's working on it. They're working on different areas, and Squid should be done probably by the end of this month. But it's software, so I hate to commit to dates. Every time I've given a date, it's been wrong. So I think I said March it was going to be out. Then we said definitely by April, and we're in August and it's still not out. So,
it's the way things go sometimes.
It is. But we'll talk about some other things they've been working on as well, because it's not just Metroverse that they're working on.
Yeah,
there's so much else going on. But yeah, so another one, I did a little teaser on our socials the other day of what's being worked on, and then I dropped a link, social.mrx.
Yeah.
Now this one, this will be released pretty soon. They're just working on it to finalize the layout of it all. But
it looks
this
great
one's
so
going to be
far.
quite clever. Yeah, exactly. It's basically like Twitter, that we can brand Metrix, and we can connect all of our other projects within this as well. So if we want to do some gaming, we can do the gaming through this social.mrx. If we want to connect Metroverse with the NFT side, we can do that. We can connect Metrix name service through it. So it's just another part of the ecosystem that'll open up a lot of communication, and then we can onboard a lot more Metroids through other communities through this channel as well, which it's quite impressive to how far it can actually go.
Yeah, and I was surprised by it when I got a message the other day, and I was just like social.mrx, and I looked at it, and it looks beautiful to me. I mean, it's got a great look to it. I love a dark kind of like aesthetic. I don't like super bright white backgrounds, and they nailed that for me. And following other people was easy. Joining groups, like all that, and the UI was easy to follow. And kudos to the developers. I think you were talking about how difficult it is to crack the whip in a volunteer type situation, but I'm so thankful that we have the developers that we do, because they are much smarter than I am when it comes to this kind of stuff. And to just see social.mrx come out the way it did, it was a nice surprise.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, and we keep saying there's a lot going on behind the scenes. It's all happening behind the scenes, and the reason I say it that way, and I don't say specifically what it is we've done it in the past, and then we have delays for whatever reason. So I'd rather talk about products that are out rather than products that we're working on. So that's the only reason I'm saying there's a lot going on behind the scenes. But what is actually going on behind the scenes, you've just seen in social.mrx, that's one. We're working on a Web3 wallet for MetroMask. MetroMask. Now that's it. I'm looking at my MetaMask icon and trying to say battery mask.
You don't want to don't look at your holdings right now. It might be upsetting.
No, so the Web3 side is going to be really good for the mobile. That's going to open up a lot of applications. Now, there's a lot of technicalities, a lot of bugs within that, but the Android version is almost complete. And once that is complete, that should be a week or two away. It'll need a lot of testing, so we won't be releasing it straight away, but once it's fully tested and it's working, we'll obviously get that released. So that's going to be a really good way to communicate with other sites and so forth. So it's just another bit of strength for Metrix. Once the iOS version gets started, that won't take long at all, apparently, because all the code's there. It's just got to be tweaked to suit iOS. So we'll have both those out definitely this year. but I don't think they're going to be too far off. So that's in development right now. Obviously, Metroverse is in development right now. We've got the VR component to Metroverse. Now, that one, still a bit of work to be done, but that will happen this year as well. So that will be out. What else we've got? We've got,
I mean, that's a lot right there.
That's a lot right there. There is other stuff under development at the moment as well. I know that Sexy's doing some more with Pyros, and there's some other games that we're looking at adding, and ways of actually incorporating Metrix. Same with social.mrx. We're going to incorporate MRX in there so that you can, whether it's tipping people, whether it's moving Metrix, whether it's paying for services, we're going to include that as well, which is
very cool.
Another use case for Metrix. So yeah, it is. It's all coming together. So it's certainly an exciting time ahead. And there's so much that's going to be delivered between now and the end of the year. It's not funny.
Right. Well, that's amazing. I'm excited, obviously. I can't wait for those things to come out, and any more surprises, like how I was surprised about social.mrx. Who knows what else is under the carpet, that I don't know.
Absolutely.
But
obviously the Metrix dollar DAO as well. We're planning on that one.
Yeah, of course. We totally overstepped that, but where do you see that as potentially something that happens this year? Or are you looking more towards next year, early or first half? Like, I gotta ask.
I'll have to say yes.
Okay. Yes.
I don't know what I said yes to.
It's coming out. That's what you said yes to.
It's coming out. It's coming out.
Good.
Devs out there, community devs, come and join us. Let's
exactly.
make this thing happen.
Right. But I know just from personal conversations with you, the dollar DAO is something, if I had to make a list for you, which I'm doing right now, I would say you would put dollar DAO potentially at the top of the things that you're looking forward to.
So for me, I've said this many times, I've really got no interest in selling Metrix. So I'm in it for the long haul. And that was part of the play of joining the team to start with, let alone becoming the CEO of the team. But I see value, especially at these prices. Accumulate as much as you can possibly accumulate at these prices, lock it up on the Metrix dollar DAO, take a loan out, not a stupid high collateral loan, just do something that's smart. And I think the way we're going to release it's going to be fairly safe anyway. But take a loan, use that money that you've borrowed off your own security of Metrix, and you can buy more Metrix with it. You could then lock that up, take a loan against that, and buy more Metrix with it. And if Metrix only doubled in price, I mean, it wouldn't be hard for it to double in price. I mean, Look how low it is. I mean, it could double 50 times and not get to the all-time high that we had previously.
Yep.
I mean, I just see it's such a win to be accumulating these prices. But even if you didn't accumulate more Metrix with it, if you just locked up your Metrix, took a loan, and put that loan into something like Ethereum, now you're making money off your Metrix. You've got a use case for your Metrix, which is returning, something. I'm just using Ethereum as an example. Look at another coin that pays staking rewards or that gives airdrops or whatever. You're getting it all for free. And it's a way you can use your Metrix without selling it to create more money and use that money to invest. And obviously this is an investment advice. This is just what I'm going to do.
Right.
And I've done this with other projects or other coins, and it's fantastic. Yeah. It's a way that you don't need to sell your assets to create more income. And over time, your assets go up in value. You just become wealthier and wealthier. And that's pretty much what I've done my entire life, is hold on to your assets and live off the dividends.
I think, a lot of people might be sleeping a little bit on the potential value and promise of what dollar DAO is going to bring to the table for Metroids.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But, we'll do more videos on this and more explainers, and I'll show you what I'm personally doing once it's out. I'd love to see it this year. I'd love to see it next month.
Yeah. Especially with the prices at this level, right?
Absolutely. I mean, and just about anyone can become a billionaire in Metrix at these prices. It's not a lot of money to accumulate.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. So let's talk about the budget proposal that's upcoming. I think
sure.
When the new budget proposal comes out in October,
I believe so.
I
Yeah.
believe so.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't been on the team in a month, so I don't know these things anymore.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the you know, we were talking potentially about, you know, me returning to take over a bunch of things, but
Yep.
it would involve, you know, the budget.
Yes.
I don't. What I just want to talk about is a couple of things that I would personally handle. You know, the social media posts, and a more aggressive approach even than what I had in the past, with handling our own main Twitter page, the Metroverse Twitter page, and hosting Twitter Spaces. I think that that is a good angle that we can also explore. Hosting little podcasts, kind of like Q&A shows, you know, that would get Metroids more involved with, you know, where we're at on a weekly basis. Even, you know, we can just host these shows. We can have people come up and ask questions, and we can have all sorts of different guests from the team to come on and talk about the project during these spaces. They're recorded so people could listen to it later if they wanted to. That's something that I'd be willing to take on and do. Also, kind of continue on, you know, I started it before I left, but doing more with TikTok. You know, since I've left, I've done my own personal TikTok page, and I've learned a lot about editing and you know, incorporating transitions and things like that to make videos more palatable to people that are watching on TikTok. And I think I've learned a lot about that. And also, we have YouTube, kind of like their reels, but I think they're called YouTube Shorts. Being able to take videos like what we're doing right now, splice them up a little bit, make little short 15 to 30-second clips with some captions, and have people that are just scrolling through the shorts be able to see some Metrix content as they're cycling through other cryptocurrency content that the algorithm is choosing for them. I think being able to make things like that is extra time, but it's not super difficult, you know, in the grand scheme of things, because we're already making the main content right now as we're talking. It's just altering it a little bit for a different platform. So really tackling all the social media stuff, returning to filming the week that was. I'd like to do it more than once a month. Maybe I go back to bi-weekly, something like that, so that it still gives your week with the CEO updates something that, you know, will stand alone by itself during the week.
Sure.
And then also be able to handle the release of Metroverse. I'd like to be involved with helping with the moderation and the promotion of Metroverse, being able to be on the site as much as I can be, to, you know, help as much as I can from my non-technical standpoint to deal with any issues that might arise. But I would be able to be available for that. The reason why we're talking about the budget proposal is because I personally, you know, would love to be able to be compensated for this, you know, in a way that makes sense for me and the project, and not anything, you know, that's an insane amount of money or anything like that, but just enough to be able to focus on it full time, you know. And you know, you can talk more about the budget proposal and stuff like that, or anything that I've just mentioned.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. It was actually my idea. I said to Jude, what you're doing, it's great, but I need more of your time. And obviously, people need to go to work to make money so that they can put food on the table. It's pretty simple. And the only way Jude could really put more time in is if he didn't have to do that. So then we started tossing around some numbers. The biggest issue we've got as a community-based project is we haven't developed many products that actually pay their way and make a profit. So the only way we really have money coming in is through capital raises. And the last capital raise we did didn't really work. We've closed it out early. So it's challenging. The other income we do have is our budget proposal, which is 19 million MRX on a monthly basis. Now, for the past 12 months, I've pretty much taken all the money from those because I've loaned the project all of my metrics to use so that we had enough metrics in place so that we could do everything we needed to. All that's been paid back, everything's squared off. We've got a couple of proposals in at the moment which are for development. Again, that's already been looked after. So we're getting to the stage now where we can do another proposal. Now, what I proposed to the team originally, how can we do this? What can we do? And so forth. And it's a mixed reaction. And that's why we wanted to go straight out to the community. We're a community-run project. We don't want to put anything under the carpet. We don't want to do anything backdoor. We want to put everything out in full transparency. So, and that's why I'm talking about, the specific figures. It is 19 million on a proposal each month. Anyone who votes through the governor protocol, you should be able to see that. You should see the medium reports that we do outlining where those funds go and so forth. So what my next thought for the proposal is to compensate our developers and to compensate Jude. Now, with the price of Metrix right now, 19 million MRX, if it was all sold on one day on the market, it's not much money. It really isn't. But if Jude can sell what he needs to sell to stay afloat and keep the rest for down the track, obviously that's where he's going to make his money on it. So, and that's what we've discussed. So my thought is social media is absolutely critical. Without the social media, you've seen what happened over the last month with me doing it. It was hopeless. I just couldn't do what needed to be done. I put a call out to all Metroids for help with social media. I didn't get any response. The responses I got was great for people joining the team and so forth, but it wasn't in their skill sets. So over the past month of desperately trying to get people on board to help me out to do all this stuff, the result was zero. And that's why I said to Jude, look, I need you back. We need to work this out one way or another, but a cryptocurrency project without a very strong social media presence isn't a cryptocurrency project, in my opinion. There's no way to onboard new Metroids, and without onboarding new Metroids, I don't think prices are going to move. Our Metroids have their bags. They've bought up. They're behind the project. They want to see the project succeed. But without a very, very strong social media presence, I don't think it's going to happen. So what I said to Jude was, if I can get you back on board, let's have a chat with the community. Let's put it full out, full disclosure. I want to actually get more involved on the social media side as well. And even videos like what we're doing now, we want to create good quality content, lots of content. And then if we've got someone on board like Jude that can cut up the content, or as he calls it, splice it up, and then we share it over different areas. This is what the bigger companies are doing. The bigger projects are doing this. And the social media presence is amazing, and they're growing at an alarming rate. So this is something that's trackable, it's measurable, certainly that we will be doing all this. And we can onboard so many more community members and showcase what our project is, what we've got, and what we're about to deliver. I think that's going to be very exciting. I think that's what's going to really build the community and really drive price in the right direction. Yeah. So I'll write up a proposal, we'll get that out. I've used the figure of 20 million metrics for Jude. And the thing with the social media side is there are costs to it. There's obviously production costs, setting up his office and getting everything so it works, and so forth. It's not huge costs, but there are costs there. And also enough to put food on the table. And that's where I came up with the 20 million metrics. Now, out of our proposal, it's only 19 million. So we're going to have to find other metrics from another source, which I have done. So I'll leave it for the proposal when I put that out. But my mind at the moment is around 10 million out of the proposal for Jude, which means we need to find another 10 million. Now, what happened with the exchanges? When we listed on exchanges, we have to provide liquidity, separate to your Pancake or any of the decentralized ones. On the centralized ones, you have to provide equal amounts of liquidity. So I won't say the exact numbers due to the non-disclosure agreements I've got with each of the exchanges, but I'll just use a basic figure. Let's say it's $25,000. So that would mean I would need to put $25,000 USDT, and I'd have to put $25,000 worth of Metrix as the liquidity. Now, the issue that we've had with the exchanges, and I've been through this in the past several times, is as the price of Metrix goes down in value, I've got to top it up. So it's 25,000 USD. worth of Metrix. Now, that just blew the amount that we could possibly provide, because we had to put 4, 5, 6, 7 times that. And then we had to do that over 7 exchanges, which was a major problem. And that's for that reasons why we're going off the centralized exchanges and more to the decentralized exchanges. And there's stuff that we're building in the background that I haven't mentioned yet that is also down the decentralized exchange model as well. But we'll talk about that one a bit further down the track, because there's just so much else under development currently.
Right.
So my thought process is we do have a bit of Metrix sitting there. The other thing is the amount of Metrix started to increase as people were selling out their USDT, converting the Metrix to USDT. So we did get a bit of a surplus there. And that's what I'm thinking of using to offset the 20 million. So 10 million out of that slush fund per month to offset for Jude. So I'll do a proper Medium article. Obviously, this is just a chat today. I want to do it officially, and we'll do it through the government proposal. And what that government proposal will do is it'll allow for X amount to Jude, which is probably going to be about 10 million. And it'll also give permission for the team to use the other funds to offset the other side. Now, this is a world first as far as a team member being paid. However, because we're all volunteers, however, I look at this one differently, because apart from myself, there is no other team member full-time. Our developers are the closest to it, but apart from that, there is no one else full-time in this project. We don't have that social presence without someone full-time. We also need someone in a full-time capacity to be running Metroverse, and that's going to have to be a paid role. So we can bring someone in from the outside and pay them, or we can have someone that's been on the project for 5 years that knows the project backwards. It's already done all the preliminary work with the developers on Metroverse running it. And that's my pick. So Metroids, I hope everyone's in agreement with me. I think it's a very, very small price to pay for what we're going to get. And I think it's absolutely essential. Without this happening, I just don't think we're going to have much of a project going forward as far as growth happens. Yes, we'll still be here. Yes, we'll still develop lots of different products, and it'll all look great. But without growing our community, we're not growing the project. And without growing the project, I just can't see prices going to grow. I just can't. And I know that there's no one in this community wanting price to grow. I know everyone is here for the technical side and just how well the technicals work. I understand that 100%, but it'd be nice to see price grow as well.
Yeah.
So,
well, I appreciate.
So guys,
I appreciate you laying it out like that. I don't want to comment too much about it, just because I feel a little weird talking about it. I don't want to plead my own case or anything like that, but I do want to say, like, I have been a part of this for, like you said, 5 years. I love Metrix and the community and what we're trying to build here and what we are building.
Well, the good news and full disclosure is I've already paid Jude yesterday 40 million Metrix out of my own holdings. So we've got him for 2 months.
That's right.
So if people agree or disagree, it's up to yourselves. But we've got him for 2 months because I've already paid him. So I can't do this on my own. I need Jude here. We need to fix this social media. We need to get this presence. And for that reason, I just paid him out of my own holdings.
And it's a very important time for Metrix right now, wouldn't you say? I mean, we're at a point where it's put up or shut up, now or never, like whatever kind of fourth quarter speech you want to give.
Yeah, absolutely. That's right. I think between now and the end of the year, it's the last bit of the accumulation phase, as we'll talk about when we're talking about Bitcoin. From there, it's off to the races. And what I want to do is have this project at the best possible presentation level, have as many new Metroids onboarded as possible. And the only way we can do this is keep developing, keep releasing products, and get our social media correct. Yeah. And that's where our focus is right now.
Right. Well, we've been chatting for a little bit now, and I'm sure you have business to, official business to take care of as you sit there. And and so maybe we'll leave it at that, and we'll do more of these, or maybe I can get you on a Twitter space or something like that. Like I said, well, like you said, I'm 2 months, and that's for sure. So we got a lot that we can do in 2 months, and I look forward to helping with that. I'm very grateful that you took the time to be on the show today. Is there anything that you want to say as we wrap up, or
Just a couple of things came to mind just quickly.
Sure.
We're not, neither Jude or I are geniuses in this space,
Nope.
but we're doing what we can do. If anyone's got any ideas on how we can onboard more Metroids, to basically share the love, share what we're doing, show what we're doing with the project, see if people are interested. I'm sure if people could see what we're doing, they will be interested. I mean, for a microcap, there's not many microcaps developing and releasing products like we are,
I agree.
especially in bear markets. So if anyone's got ideas on how to onboard more people, any ideas for TikTok, for Twitter, for whatever, jump on our socials, share, communicate with us. We're here to listen to what everyone wants to do. If you want to join the team and help out with that, obviously we've said it 100 times, come and join us. It's an open book. But we've got quite a few ideas already of what we want to do. Now we've got the time to really focus on it. I'm sitting on a chair for another 4 weeks, so I'm going to be driving Jude nuts. So, so I think you'll see a big difference in the socials over the next 4 weeks. We've got a lot of work to do, and it's going to be impressive. But if anyone's got other ideas, anyone wants to do their own TikToks or their own whatever, I've seen some of the projects, and they've got 10 to 15 people in the community that started their own YouTube channel dedicated to that project.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to see that if people want to take the time and do that.
Me too.
And it could be a 2-minute video, it'd be fantastic.
Yep.
But the more people we can have sharing the love, the better the algorithms, the better everything's going to work for us. So anyone who's good at social media, please help us out. Anyone that's got ideas, help us out, share your ideas.
Yeah, I agree. Well said. We're always open to listening to new, fresh ideas and welcoming anybody that wants to make fresh content. So with that being said, Trent, thank you so much. It was great talking to you. We're going to put this together, and I'll get this out soon, and I hope that the Metroids get a lot out of it. I think they will. We covered a lot of great topics, and I hope that your knee fully heals very soon and that you don't have to run on the beach anymore.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Metroids.
Yeah,
cheers.
We'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
Cheers.